Welcome back to Farmyard Care, your trusted place for homesteading, backyard farming, gardening, and learning to live closer to the steady, beautiful rhythm of nature. I'm truly glad you're here today. Have you ever stood in your backyard for a quiet moment and imagined what a more self-sufficient life could look like? Maybe you've pictured yourself stepping outside in the cool morning air, basket in hand, hearing the gentle clucking of your own chickens as you collect fresh, warm eggs for your family's breakfast. It's a peaceful dream, and for many people, it's the first picture that comes to mind when they think about raising chickens. But here is the question every beginner needs to ask. What happens when that dream meets the real, unpredictable side of farm life? What happens when the chickens you thought would bring calm and joy turn out to be nervous, aggressive, difficult to manage, or constantly struggling with health problems? Today, we're going to talk about a choice that can shape your entire chicken-keeping journey. We'll look at the 4 best and 4 worst chicken breeds to bring onto your property, along with the most important beginner errors you need to avoid before you ever build your flock. After years of raising, breeding, watching, and learning from these birds, I want to share honest, practical opinions that can save you stress, money, and disappointment. By the end, you won't only know which breeds to consider, you'll understand how to build a flock that brings peace, productivity, and real joy to your farmyard. So get comfortable, and let's get started. Part 1. The dream versus the reality. Beginner mistakes to avoid. Before we start naming specific breeds and pointing out which chickens can cause trouble, we need to talk honestly about the foundation of a healthy flock. In my experience, many beginners do not struggle in the first year simply because they chose the wrong breed. More often, they struggle because they were not fully prepared for what chickens truly need. The first mistake is poor planning, especially overcrowding. Chickens may look simple to care for, but they still need personal space. When too many birds are packed into a small coop with poor airflow, you are not just dealing with extra mess. You are creating the perfect conditions for stress, sickness, ammonia buildup, and bad behavior. Overcrowded chickens often become nervous and frustrated, and that pressure can turn into bullying, feather pecking, and constant fighting inside the flock. A reliable rule is to provide at least 4 square feet of co-op space and 10 square feet of outdoor run space for each standard-sized bird. So before you bring chickens home, ask yourself honestly, are you building a proper home for them, or are you just putting them in a cage? The second mistake is underestimating predators. Hawks, raccoons, foxes, and even neighborhood dogs see chickens as an easy meal. A weak pen wrapped in thin chicken wire is not real protection. Many predators can rip through it, reach through it, or find a way around it. A safer setup needs strong hardware cloth, secure latches, tight corners, and covered runs, especially if your birds cannot free-range safely. The third mistake is ignoring biosecurity. Bringing random chickens from a swap meet or another farm straight into your clean flock is one of the fastest ways to invite disease onto your property. Illness can spread quickly through chickens, and once it starts, it can be difficult and heartbreaking to control. A simple 30-day quarantine for new birds can protect the flock you have worked so hard to build. Raising chickens teaches us an important lesson. Success does not come from shortcuts. It comes from planning carefully, building a solid foundation, and respecting the needs of the animals in our care. With that in mind, let's move into the breeds that may test a beginner's patience more than they expect. Part 2. Worst breed number 1, the White Leghorn, the neurotic machine. At the top of my worst list is a breed that may surprise a lot of people, the White Leghorn. And before anyone rushes to defend them, let me be clear. I know exactly why people like them. White Leghorns can lay over 300 eggs a year. There's no denying that they are powerful egg producers. But the real question is this: what are you giving up in exchange for all those eggs? These birds were shaped heavily by the commercial egg industry, where the main goal was maximum production. Over time, that focus came at the expense of temperament. White Leghorns can be extremely flighty, nervous, and stress-prone. In many backyard settings, they do not settle easily. You can walk into the coop just to refill water or check the feeder, and they may react as if danger has entered the pen, flying into walls, crashing into fences, or piling over each other in panic. That level of stress is not enjoyable for the keeper, and it is not healthy for the bird. On top of that, white leghorns have large single combs, which can be a real problem in colder climates. During harsh winter weather, those combs are much more vulnerable to painful frostbite. So ask yourself honestly, do you want a bird that produces a few extra eggs but lives in constant fear and discomfort? On a calm, balanced homestead, stress spreads through the flock like a disease. The lesson here is simple. Maximum egg production does not always mean maximum value. A good flock should bring harmony to the farmyard, not daily chaos. Part 3. Worst breed number 2. The Silkie. The adorable heartbreak. My second least favorite breed for beginners is difficult to talk about because Silkies are undeniably charming. They look like tiny walking stuffed animals, and children often fall in love with them immediately. But from a practical homesteading point of view, Silkies can be one of the most frustrating breeds for a new chicken keeper. First, we need to talk about their famous fluffy feathers. Those soft feathers may look beautiful, but they often cover the bird's eyes. That means many Silkies move around with limited vision, almost as if they are half blind. Because they cannot easily look up and watch the sky, they become easy targets for aerial predators like hawks. In an open yard, that is a serious weakness. Second, some Silkies have a trait known as a vaulted skull. This means there can be a vulnerable opening in the skull beneath all that fluff. A hard peck to the head from a dominant flock mate can become more than just a small injury. In the worst cases, it can be fatal. Then there's their broodiness. A broody hen wants to sit on eggs and hatch chicks, but Silkies take this instinct to an extreme. They may sit in a nest for weeks, even when there are no fertile eggs underneath them. During that time, they may refuse to eat or drink properly, losing condition until it becomes a real welfare concern. For a beginner, the goal should be a strong, steady, low-maintenance flock, not a constant round of special care and worry. Silkies may be adorable, but sometimes the cutest animals on the farm require the most attention. Part 4. Worst breed number 3. Production Reds. The aggressive burnout. Number 3 on my avoid list is the Production Red, a bird that is often sold in farm stores under the name Rhode Island Red. Now, I want to be very clear here. A true heritage Rhode Island Red can be a wonderful chicken, calm, sturdy, useful, and dependable as a dual-purpose breed. But many Production Reds coming from hatchery lines are not the same thing. Production Reds have been bred hard for fast egg production, and when a breed is pushed too heavily in one direction, something else usually suffers. In this case, it is often temperament. Roosters from these lines have a reputation for being aggressive, and in my view, an aggressive rooster has no place in a peaceful farmyard, especially if children or visitors are walking around the property. A bird that attacks people is not protecting the flock in a healthy way. It is creating danger and stress. The hens can also be difficult. Many are bossy, pushy, and quick to peck at weaker flock members. Over time, that kind of behavior can break down the calm balance you want in a backyard flock. Instead of a relaxed group of birds scratching through the yard, you may end up managing tension every day. Another issue is burnout. Because these birds are bred to lay hard and fast, their bodies often do not hold up as well over the long term. By the second or third year, egg production can drop sharply. Real sustainability is not about getting the most out of an animal as quickly as possible. It is about building a steady, long-term relationship with your land, your flock, and the rhythm of the farm. Part 5. Worst breed number 4. Black Copper Marans, the beautiful bullies. My final worst pick is the Black Copper Marans. I understand why people are drawn to this breed. Those deep, dark chocolate-colored eggs are beautiful, and finding one in the nesting box can feel like discovering a little treasure. But in my experience, the beauty of the egg does not always match the behavior of the bird. Black Copper Marans are often known for feather picking. Even when they are given decent space, good feed, and proper care, some birds still develop the habit of pulling feathers from their flock mates. This is not just a small annoyance. Feather picking can lead to bare backs, wounds, stress, and constant unrest in the coop. And with this breed, the problem is not always caused by overcrowding or poor management. It can be tied to traits that show up within certain lines of the breed itself. They also are not my first choice for harsh winter conditions. Their larger combs can be vulnerable during severe freezes, which means frostbite becomes a real concern if you live in a cold climate and do not manage the coop carefully. So this breed forces us to ask an honest question. How much trouble are we willing to accept just for a pretty egg? Is a dark, impressive shell worth a stressed flock, injured birds, and constant management? For me, the answer is no. A peaceful, healthy farmyard matters more than aesthetics every single time. Part 6. Best breed number 1. The Buff Orpington, the golden retriever of chickens. Now let's take a breath, leave the difficult breeds behind, and talk about the chickens that can truly make a backyard flock feel peaceful, productive, and enjoyable. My first best breed for beginners is the well-loved Buff Orpington. If you want a chicken that feels almost like a family pet but still gives you fresh eggs, this is one of the best choices you can make. The Buff Orpington is often called the golden retriever of the chicken world, and for good reason. These birds are gentle, friendly, calm, and very comfortable around people. They are large, soft-natured chickens with a steady temperament, which makes them especially good for families. They are also a heavy dual-purpose breed, and their thick feathering helps them handle cold weather very well. In the garden, they often follow you around quietly while you work, clucking softly and keeping you company without causing trouble. They usually lay around 180 to 200 large light brown eggs a year, which is a respectable amount for a bird with such a sweet personality. If you have children who want chickens they can hold, pet, and safely enjoy, the Buff Orpington is hard to beat. This breed reminds us that a good flock is not only about production. Sometimes the best kind of abundance comes with gentleness, patience, and calm companionship. Part 7. Best breed number 2, the Speckled Sussex, the ultimate chat show host. My second best breed is one that brings both beauty and personality to the homestead, the Speckled Sussex. I like to think of this chicken as the natural entertainer of the poultry yard. Speckled Sussex birds are curious, talkative, alert, and always interested in what is happening around them. They have a wonderfully steady temperament, which makes them a strong choice for busy family settings. Children playing, people walking through the yard, daily chores, and normal farm noise usually do not upset them easily. Their appearance is another reason people fall in love with them. They have rich mahogany feathers tipped with white and black, creating a speckled pattern that becomes even more beautiful after each yearly molt. That coloring is not just pretty, it can also help them blend into the garden better than many lighter-colored birds. Speckled Sussex chickens are also excellent foragers. They enjoy moving through the yard, scratching, exploring, and hunting for insects, which can help reduce pests and save a little on feed. Even with their playful nature, they are dependable layers, often giving around 4 to 5 large tinted eggs each week, and many continue laying through colder months. Raising a Speckled Sussex is a reminder that a good homestead bird can be useful, hardy, beautiful, and full of life all at the same time. Part 8. Best breeds number 3 and 4, the Black Australorp and the Buckeye, the workhorse and the masterpiece. For my final choices, I cannot honestly choose only one, because these two breeds both deserve a place on this list. They are true homestead powerhouses, each valuable in its own way. First, let's talk about the Black Australorp. If you want a reliable workhorse that still has a calm, pleasant personality, this is a breed worth serious attention. Developed in Australia, the Black Australorp became famous for extraordinary egg production, including the well-known record of one hen laying 364 eggs in 365 days. Now, your backyard hen may not reach that extreme, but with good care you can still expect strong production, often over 250 eggs a year. Beyond the eggs, this breed is beautiful and practical. Their black feathers can shine with a rich beetle green glow in the sunlight, giving them a striking look without making them difficult to manage. More importantly, Black Australorps are calm, cold-hardy, and adaptable. They can settle into many different farmyard situations, which makes them a very dependable choice for beginners who want both productivity and peace. But if I had to name my personal all-time favorite, the breed I consider one of the best-kept secrets in homesteading, it would be the Buckeye. The Buckeye is a special breed with a strong history. It is the only chicken breed in the American standard created entirely by a woman, Nettie Metcalf of Ohio, in the late 1800s. She did not create this bird just to win attention at poultry shows. She bred it for real homestead survival, toughness, usefulness, and reliability in difficult conditions. One of the Buckeye's greatest advantages is its small pea comb. In freezing weather, that matters. Large combs can suffer frostbite quickly, but Buckeyes are built to handle the cold with far fewer problems. Their cold-hardiness is one of the best you will find in a practical farm bird. What truly sets them apart, though, is their intelligence and temperament. Buckeye roosters can be strong protectors of their hens, but they are often calm, steady, and trustworthy around people. That balance is rare and valuable. They are also active, excellent foragers, and are even known for hunting mice around the farmyard. If I had to choose one breed for a remote, self-sufficient homestead, the Buckeye would be at the top of my list every time. To me, this breed represents resilience, harmony, and real usefulness better than almost any other chicken. Conclusion. So, what is the real lesson behind all of this? Bringing animals onto our farms, into our gardens, and into our daily lives is a serious responsibility. Raising chickens is not just about collecting eggs. It is about building a healthy little ecosystem where the birds, the land, and the people caring for them can all work together. When beginners rush into chicken keeping and choose breeds only because they lay the most eggs, look the cutest, or produce the prettiest shells, disappointment often follows. The keeper becomes frustrated, the flock becomes stressed, and the animals are the ones that suffer most. But when we slow down and choose wisely, everything changes. When we select breeds that fit our climate, our space, our family, and our goals, we begin to build a true partnership with nature. We learn patience. We learn the value of a gentle bird like the buff Orpington, the lively usefulness of the speckled Sussex, the steady production of the black Australorp, and the rugged strength of the Buckeye. I hope this guide helps you avoid some of the common beginner mistakes and leads you toward a flock that brings more joy, peace, and fresh eggs into your life. I would love to hear your experience as well. Which chicken breed has been your absolute favorite, and which one turned into your biggest challenge? Share your thoughts in the comments so we can all learn from each other. If this video was helpful, make sure to subscribe and become part of the Farmyard Care family. Until next time, keep your hands in the dirt, keep your heart open to nature, and take good care of your farmyard. Bye for now.